Okay, so here we are again for another live working session. And let me check my open broadcaster. Yep, seems to be working. So this project is just show this, is a home just north of us. Let me scroll out a little bit and I'll try to find the exterior elevations right quick. There's a basic, there's the front and rear elevation. So it's a fella who lives out of state, and he contacted us. He contacted me and said that he watched my YouTube channel, and I was very happy about that. I asked him if he watched all the crazy things that we did too, and he said, I think he said yes. But anyway, I thought I would just turn on the camera and kind of give you an idea of the process that I go through. Now, some of you are going to ask me, ArtisanTony, why are you, oh, by the way, let me go find the chat on YouTube. Let's see. Where is the super chat? Here we go. Here's our, let me go find it. Okay, so I'll just mute that because I know that would be crazy to have to listen to. So I'll have to switch back and forth just to see the chat. But what I wanted to show first was just the basic look of the house. And again, some people are going to say, well, ArtisanTony, why do you go through what you're going through? Don't you already have a set of drawings? Yes, I have a set of drawings, but I do not have it in a form that is in my brain yet. As you can see, when architects love putting all this data on one sheet. If they realized they were working with humans, they would try to separate some of this data. And I'll give you an idea here. What I used to do, and I still do this, and you'll see as I go along, I'll do like a floor plan that only has walls located on it with dimensions. I won't have all of this furniture and all these detail marks and all that stuff. So what I do on every job, a lot of the jobs that we do, I actually design the home. But sometimes like this, I will get a drawing from an owner that is designed by another architect. And so what I do is I actually put it in SketchUp as a model. And when I do that, I can go back and do foundation plans, floor framing plans, roof framing plans. Obviously all this is based on this design, but I'll give you another example of why I do this. Is this right here. Architects do not use logical dimensions. Like this dimension here, 16 feet and 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm supposed to go out and tell my concrete guy who's got forms that come in 2 foot or 1 foot increments that I want this foundation to be 16 feet, 1/4 inch, or he is fired. No, I don't do that. So what I do is I go to my drawing and I make it 16 feet. So let's go here and we'll check 16 feet. What a coincidence. So I I'll go back, I'll redraw the floor plan. This is my SketchUp drawing. So I'll redraw the floor plan, and that's what I do. And it accomplishes two things. It starts the house off on the right footing, pardon the pun, and it gets all of our dimensions worked out logically, and it also installs the project into my head, so that when we start, I was just checking to see if there was any comments, so that when we start the project, a lot of times I'll actually know what these dimensions are, and it'll be in my head. So what I'm going to do is take this back down to the way I had it, so that I can look at that and my SketchUp drawing at the same time. It does get a little confusing sometimes, but it works. So you can. So now what I'm trying to do, after I've got my perimeter in, you can see here. What I'm going to do next is start putting the interior walls in, and I noticed that a lot of these walls are just continuations of the exterior walls, like this one right here. So what I'll do there is I'll run a wall down to here, and now I've got to decide whether that is a 2x6 wall. They're showing that as a 2x6 wall, so I will probably just leave it that way for now until I figure out why it's not a 2 or 4 wall. Typically what we do is we will make anything 9 feet or less. We'll try to save the owner money by using 2 or 4 studs. Oops, I just realized that I had made that a block, a group, so I could work with it. So I need to go back out of that and delete these. Delete all this mess and go back into my, am I working now? Yeah, I'm working. So there's really no need in our climate, maybe up north where all the Yankees live, maybe it makes sense to have 2x6 exterior walls, and I'm showing these as 2x6 walls. But in our climate in Tennessee, it's not totally necessary. So this looks like it goes over to here. So what I would do is hold down my shift key, and this runs over to there also. And what I'll do is, as I'm going along, I'll clean these up, because the reason for that is that I'm looking at this in a plan view now, but eventually what I'm going to do is is just rotate it like this, and I will pull up. I'll just pull these walls up to 9 feet or whatever they're supposed to be, you see, like that. But I want to get them all in there first. So I'll change that back to my top view, my plan view. And I'll be honest with you, one of the annoying things about SketchUp is that it creates these faces. I mean, SketchUp wasn't really meant to do, I mean, you can do it, but it wasn't really meant to do what I'm doing with it, using it for 2-dimensional drawings. It's meant to do modeling. So when you draw a box, it automatically creates a face, whether you can see it or not. And that face can be whatever texture you want. So it's kind of a feature or a function of the modeling capabilities of SketchUp. Now I notice here, so I get these walls are also, it looks like the only 2x4 walls they have are these, but even that's a 2x6 wall because it's a plumbing wall. So they've got these little infill walls here. It's 2x4 walls, it looks like. But these major walls are they've got shown as, so I'm just going to leave it that way for now. We can always, that's not that hard to change. And I like to keep up with my cleaning of the, and people are going to say, well, why are you having to do that? Well, like I said earlier, SketchUp's not really made for making, doing two-dimensional drawings. So it's not, it doesn't have like a typical floor, cleanup, wall cleanup feature like a chief architect software would, something like that. So this wall comes down. Let me check my YouTube, see if there's any. Oh heck, there are questions. Okay, all right, we got our first dummy potato talking hockey for life. Another, why people can't just be nice. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. So sometimes it makes me wonder why I even fool with YouTube at all. It's you try to do good things and people just act like idiots. So anyway, if you didn't understand, that was somebody acting stupid in the chat on YouTube. So I try to do these things for kind of a public service so people can see how we do things in the design build industry, and nobody wants to take it seriously. So, which is fine. I do this just for fun. I do the live stuff just for fun. It doesn't affect anything. So it looks like here I've got a little hallway, but let me just get my major walls in first, and then I'll deal. So this wall comes straight across here. This one, doesn't it? Yeah, that comes across there. Let's see what happens to it though. Yeah, that's just a porch. Okay. You see, as I go, as I'm doing this, I'm learning about the drawing at the same time, the house. I'm learning about what the owner has communicated to the architect that they want. It's my job. Oh crap, I did it again. I forgot to go in and edit my block. It's my job to make sense of it all, because honestly, a lot of architects don't have a clue when it comes to actually building something, and that's okay. They can't know everything, right? They can know how to design and not build. It's not a tragedy. That's my job. So we're going to clean this up, and that gets me my major wall there. Now this is divided here with this stair wall. And where's my dimension? Where is my dimension? I'm looking for a dimension line this way. Am I just blind? Where did it go? Maybe it's over here. Excuse me. Well, what I did do was I brought this, let me zoom this out for a second. I did actually import the drawing. You can see it's not as clear, but I did import this drawing, so if I have to, I can go in here and measure this, but I really didn't want to have to do that. That says 11.5 from the outside. From the outside to the inside. That makes sense. So why am I losing my That was weird. It's like I lost control of the drawing there for a second. That was very strange. So let's make it 11 feet. Wait, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I need to go in here and click on this to edit it. So for now, we're just going to say 11 feet 5.5. We'll play along with the architect's game for now. I'm making these walls 6 inches because if they're out of 2x6s, that's 5.5 with the 1/2 inch drywall on either side. Gives us 6 inches. Now, let's try to get our drawing to where it's 1/2 and 1/2 again. Check YouTube again, make sure there's no. Hello, Chooch. Oh, yeah. Why do people do that? You know, I don't understand. If you look, what fun is it to go into someone's live chat and just spam it? I mean, these are people who have nothing to do. It's amazing. I mean, it's kind of funny in a way, but it's kind of sad in another way. So you can see here we have a porch way out here, and that porch looks like it is 16 feet. Again, 16 feet 2. We had to have that 2 little inches on there. Not sure why we had to have that 2 inches, but so now when I'm talking to my concrete guy, I gotta say, can you add a 2-inch shim? You know, can you destroy the integrity of your forms by making that 16 feet? I'm just kidding. It's really not destroying the integrity, but what I am going to do is talk to the owner about making that 16 feet, just because in artisan construction's world we try to use logic, and that sometimes. Here's another, you know, why 19 feet 11.25? Why? What is the magic of what are you dimensioning? You know, you zoom in here and you're like, what's that dimensioning? Why? I'm sorry, some of this, make it 1911.5 for Jesus sakes. I mean, why 1911.25? I guess this is going to turn into a why architectural session. Now I lost my page. Dang it. There we go. You go crazy. So honestly, if this is 1911.25, I mean, come on now. If there's no relationship, honestly though, this roof line, from what I remember, this roof line needs to line up. yeah, this roof line continues. If you go down, see, I did my homework. If you go down, you see this is the attic plan. The rafters continue to sit on this wall all the way down. So this needs to line up, and this is kind of silly. And this is what I'm doing. This is the purpose of, because you see here, this lines up with this all the way down here. See, because there is a line of rafters that comes down through here. Now I'm wondering what they sit on. They don't sit on anything, do they? They want me to make a true valley here, which is going to be more expensive, but that's okay. I can work it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this line up, which I think is 20 feet. Yeah, it's 20 feet. See, that's logical to me. If Spock were here, he would say that's logical. And peace be with me, whatever he used to say. Live long and prosper. And why that dash line is there, I do not know. We're going to go out of this and find out. Something is wrong with this drawing. That little dash line is not supposed to be there. That is odd. That is very, very odd. And it won't delete. Let's get this back here. Let's get a new perspective on life. Let's start over. So I'm just showing that as a single line around there because that's a porch. There's no, there'll just be a floor and columns there. What is this? I have a feeling, I have a sneaky suspicion that this is wrong. Aha! Aha! I found it. Somehow I had put a point. There we go. Now I should be able to go in and just delete this. There we go. You might not have been able to see that, but there was a little glitch. There was a little poopy-doo in my drawing there. So you see we're getting there, and so when I get ready to, when I get the kahunas ready to, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna grab these walls, see, and I'm gonna pull them all up to 9 feet, and I'll have my basic walls in, you see. But for now, I'm going to put them back down and get all the walls in, and so I can get some cohesiveness going on this thing. Let's check YouTube and see if there's any other goobers. Yeah. Chooch says he had an architect argue with me that 2'10" was 3 feet. He must have been on the metric system. Have you ever noticed how, here goes my metric rant. Have you ever noticed that when we use feet and inches, we'll do this. You know, if you go back to this architectural drawing, you know, we'll do things like this: 6 foot and 3/4 of an inch. Well, now your meter person would just say, "Oh, that's 2 meters." Well, it's not, but they always round it up. The metric system is the most inaccurate as far as the way it's used. I'm not saying it's inaccurate in itself. I'm saying the way the metric system is used is inaccurate. They will never say that this is, you know, 2.68 meters. They'll just say, "Oh, that's 2 meters." No, it's not. So there's my little metric rant. This is 2 meters. 6'1" is 2 meters. 6'9 1/4 is 2 meters. 6 foot and 3/4 of an inch is 2 meters. Ask anybody. They're lazy. It's a mind numbing, lazy. Anyway, back to this. The imperial system is called the imperial system for a reason, because it is above and beyond. That'll make some people mad. But yeah, Cheech, you just got me in trouble because you made me go on a rant there. So anyway, if I go back to this architectural craziness, right here on this end of the house, I can see I've got this little garage. I think this is for a golf cart. This property is huge, and it's like 30. Here I go crazy with my mouse again. It's like 30 something acres. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's huge. I mean, these are little tiny. This is a barn. This is a big old barn. That little speck right there, and this is a road that's leading up. So I imagine the golf cart is going to have a real need, a real purpose there. It's not like, just some rich guy in a subdivision who wants to take a golf cart down to the clubhouse. This guy's got a real reason to need a golf cart garage, and I think that's what that is. So that line comes across there, and that line comes across there. So that's easy. I mean, let's see, what does it do? This line comes down. This line goes all the way to there. Okay, that line goes all the way to there. Okay, that's easy enough. If they would just pay attention to their dimensions, they would do so much better. And think about building it. Think about, if you're designing something, think about how you're going to build it. Think to yourself, I want to make this room 11 foot 9 inches. Well, then you go to the lumber store and you find out that floor joists are coming 12 foot lengths, and you didn't save any money making that room. Now you might argue, well, it's the same thing with drywall. Drywall comes in 12 foot lengths. So you just had to cut off 3 inches of a piece of drywall. You see, it's the whole house is that way. So if they would just think about their common sense, really it's just common sense. If everyone just used, not just architects, but if everyone used common sense, we would be much better off. And I catch myself sometimes. So now you can see I've kind of got the major walls in, and it's really kind of boring putting all this other stuff in, but I'm going to have to do it anyway. This is the work of it right here. So now he's got a little laundry, like a little mud room here. And where is my dimension? With all the stuff on this drawing, you would think that it would be easy to find a dimension, but that's not dimensioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my drawing that I imported back over here, leave my block a minute, and I'm going to see what this drawing says. And I had a guy get mad at me. It's 7'3" and a half inside. Had a guy get mad at me for scrolling on. I was like, dude, it's a thing, I can't help it. I gotta be able to get around in my drawing. So let's make this small again. let's make America small again. Let's make this drawing small again. Can I make that move over a little bit? Yep. So for now, I'm gonna make this 7'3" and a half. Where did it go? Here we go. Is this it? Yep. Because I don't mind 7'3" and a half. I don't mind that at all. That's perfectly acceptable. And so chalk one up for the architect. You got a logical dimension in there. Whoops. Hang on, I keep forgetting. I don't know what you're saying. Why is it like that? I don't know why I did that. Well, I know why I did it. I'll show you. This is a block, but it's a group, so that when I start putting other systems in, like floor systems or roof systems, I can have it by itself as just a group. I'll show you what I mean. So now this is a group, and I can move the whole house around if I want to. See, I don't want to do that. As a matter of fact, I want to go all the way back and put that back. But just saying, if this is a group, I can work with it. And then when I get ready to do my floor framing and other systems, they don't stick to it, so to speak. So now, let's see. I gotta go in here and see if I've got this 7 foot 3.5. And I have found that is that right? That doesn't look right. That's right. I thought it went over farther last time. And no, I don't talk to myself when I'm working by myself. If you're, I'm only doing that to try to make this a little more entertaining for anybody who might be watching. So there's another major wall put in. Let's go back to our drawing. Our drawing is Norm Abram. I used to love to watch Norm Abram. I loved the way he talked as a Bostoner, person from Boston. Well, shoot, now, this is a PDF. So PDFs love to go crazy when you move your mouse around. The dynamics of your mouse are a lot different in this PDF than when I go to my drawing. So if you see this PDF freaking out every now and then, it's because I'm got two different things going on. Let me go back. There's Barrett. Hard and working dude right there. Barrett's a hard working dude. So then, let's see, Chooch says, and then throw in an engineer's ruler and screw them all. Yeah. Engineers. They're funny. Although I like engineers. I got a lot of friends who are engineers, and I have to admit, I did a lot of structural drawings for a few years for a structural engineer, and I think that helped. It helped me, but it also kind of made me over-engineer things sometimes, because our projects they're not wimpy. They don't fall that easy. They don't fall down. So I've already got that wall in. I was looking at this wall right here. I'm trying to zoom in on YouTube. I'm going crazy here, Barrett. This is what I wanted to zoom in on. Okay, so this has got 11 foot 6.5. There's a dimension there, thank you. 11 foot 6.5, and what? That's so. I guess that's a standard kind of dimension for a dining room. We can deal with that. Barrett must be in between students, because he's at the invalid length entered. Well, what the heck? 11 foot 6.5. Invalid length. Poof. Poof. Computers. What do they know? Alright, so I'm going to delete that. Delete that. Now see, after I get all my walls in here, I'll go back and I'll raise those walls up, and then I will go back and put all my doors in. Now here's a rant. Here's a rant for architects. I know for a fact that it takes at least 16 risers to do. If these are 9 foot ceilings on this first floor, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Now what you do, if you go to the second floor, they've tried to make up for it here, but they have changed. This is something that's really easy to draw and something that's difficult to accomplish. It's not difficult to accomplish, it's a waste of money. Okay, So these 4 little risers, 1, 2, 3, 4, mean that they want me to build this landing on this level with this attic, which is supposed to be on the same level as this one over here, and all this should be on the same level. I should be able to build all these walls. When I go back to my drawing, I should be able to just, when I get ready to build these walls, I'm already there, and I can just go ahead and pull them up. I should be able to pull these up 9 feet, and that's it. Build them just like that, right? Now, when you come up these stairs, right, what they're asking me to do is have one level for this attic and that little landing that's right there, and a whole entire other level for this part of the house over here. When if they had simply just designed this so that there was enough run for the risers, you could have eliminated probably about $15,000. $15,000 to $20,000 could have been saved on this house if they had simply just allowed for enough run. And what happens is they don't think about it, and then when they realize it, they have to come up with a solution. And so this is why we're drawing this out to begin with, and this is why I'm getting this in my head, because what I will do is I will go in here, and when I'm done with this, and the reason this is a block, I'll just go ahead and show you. I'll just go ahead and build a floor on top of this. Where's my rectangle tool? And I'll bring this up. Let's say that whole floor assembly is 14 inches. You see, let me rotate this. I'm just going to do it over this one section for right now, because I don't know if I've got it at the right elevation. But you see, I should just be able to go ahead and build this entire floor over this whole level if this is what the owner wants. If they wanted to save money, you see. Let me just take that part back. But because the architect didn't allow enough room for a run on the stairs, now I've got to, and I'm trying to be funny, you know, I'm not trying to be really mean or anything. I'm going to make this a group so that I can copy it and paste it. So now I've got to, because they didn't allow enough room for a run on the stair, I've got to build these floors at different heights. You see? Which is ridiculous, kind of ridiculous. And it's not even this simple. If it were as simple as this, like building that chunk at one height and build this the other height, well, first of all, your studs come in pre-cut lengths. 104 5/8 is the length of a 9-foot stud. And now we either have to use, like, who knows the difference? Well, it's 3 steps, so it would be about 22.5 inches. So you see how convoluted it gets? It starts to get. I'm just going to delete this. And you may not know what I'm talking about, but trust me, I'm going to go ahead and take these walls back down because I'm not ready for them to be raised yet. I'll tell you when I'm ready. When I get all the first 4 walls in, then I'll raise them. Let me check the YouTube comments to see if anybody thinks I'm going nuts. Nope. That's good. How long have we been going? A little while. So what other walls? And I'll go over all this and see, as I build this in my head and in SketchUp, I come up with a list of questions. And one of them is, I'll show you this. Whenever you're having a house designed and you want chimneys, the first thing you want to do is locate those chimneys in logical places, not illogical. Okay? And I'll give you an example of logical. where's my bottom bar here? Where's my hand? There's my hand. Does that not work? You see this chimney here. This chimney is against the house all the way up until it exits the roof. Okay? This one is not. This one is standing up, what, 15 feet in the air, just dangling there. And look at this one. Look at this. So this chimney is up in the air, I would say at least 12 to 14 feet, just hanging up in the air like that. Now, what I would suggest to this owner, and again, this is all tongue-in-cheek, okay? I'm not really being mean to the architect. But what I would do is, if I was this owner, I would designate one of these, or two of them, how many ever, the ones that are logical, to be wood-burning fireplaces. But on this one, I would make this a gas fireplace because I know that it's in like a little den. And this is probably an area that they're hardly ever going to sit in because the view is out over, going back. I hope this doesn't give people seizures the way I'm going. This room right here and the porch, all the view is out this way, out the, what I guess would be, you'd think would be the back, but it's kind of the front. Okay, this little room right here is really not even big enough to be a den. It's just kind of like a little bonus room. I would just make this a gas fireplace, and then I would have no, now I just saved the owner another $15,000. You see here, there would be no reason for this chimney at all. You would just have a little cap, a little vent cap coming out. All this stone right here would stop right here under the roof line, and there would just be a little cap coming out right there, and all this would go away. Okay, now that's Tony talking. And this is another one here. Now what I would do here, I'll show you what I would do here. I would go back, and let me get this, go back to my floor plans. Again, sorry about the jitters, but I have to do this. I have to scroll. That's the second floor plan. Go all the way back up here. What I would do is see how they've got this fireplace in the corner. Now, you'll also notice, let me back up. You'll also notice, look how much room it's taking up in the room itself. This view out the back is offset because of this fireplace. All you got to do is move this fireplace around to the middle of this wall and have this, whatever this shelving is or whatever it is on both sides of the fireplace. Now you've moved this chimney up the roof line, and it comes out, and the chimney would only have to be maybe 6 or 8, maybe 6 feet tall. You see, because this is a 12-12 pitch roof. So for every foot I move this towards the center of the house, that's a foot less than it has to stick out of the roof. So that's what I would do there. If you want, I know they probably want to keep that a wood burning, and this is probably going to be a wood burning on the porch. I can see that. But you see, that one is the one that was in that gable end. This one's fine. Where was the other one? There was like a bunch of fireplaces on this house. It's going to be expensive. So there we go. That's my little rant on that. Let's see if there's any comments on the YouTube side. Nope, nobody watching. That's fine. Don't have to worry about trolls either. Talking about my mom or whatever. So let's go in here. It looks like I got the major, well, I need to put this walk-in closet in. And that dimension looks like it's going to be 4 feet 8.5. Yeah, 4 feet 8.5 from here. From here, yeah, feet 8 1/2. And then I'm just going to draw that wall straight down for now. I know it doesn't go all the way, but I'm just going to draw it down there for now. We'll go that way. Take all that junk out. Clean up that. And then there's a hall wall. Now, this is where it gets fun because I like to make my halls 4 feet wide. Let's go back to my drawing, to this drawing, and see what they've got here. You can see why I'm not referring to this one much, because when I imported it, all the garbage came in with it. And what have they got in the clear here? 3'9" and 15/16. Well, that's just a handy dandy dimension. 3'9". How many meters is that, metric people? 3'5" and 13. That's what I'm talking about, the metric system. They would never, well, just make that hallway 1 meter wide. It's okay. Let's see. And see, 1 meter to them could be 3 feet. It could be 3 feet 2. It could be 3'6". They just round things up so much. Let's see. So this says 3'5" and 13/16. So I'm going to say that was supposed to be 3'6", and it could be that I lost something in the import. So I'm not going to nitpick this too much. And I'm going to say that's probably 3'10". I forgot I was already in the drawing. So here, back this out a little bit so I can see. Put that right there. So did I make it 3'10"? Where did that like? Where did that come from? .8 and a half. I'm thinking they want this to be 3'10". That's how I got that little point in there before I accidentally put a point instead of a. And then that wall, that line will continue on over to where you have a hall over here. So I don't see a dimension there either. So I need to go over here again and try to discern a dimension, which is right here. .9. I just don't know. Really, that's going to be a product of how big that little room is. So we want to make sure. Why is it doing that? 3'9". So what it does is it comes over like this. It doesn't come all the way down though, does it? I'm just gonna draw it down to here for right now, and then that goes there. I'm just gonna draw it down to here for now, and that will go back there. So if I can, why wasn't? See, when you're not paying attention, you create all kinds of little messes. I wasn't editing my block. I was drawing the walls, what I mounted to in another layer, basically in a different universe, and so I had to go back in, and now it looks like I've got multiple. I'm just going to delete all these faces. They're driving me nuts. Like that. How long have I been going? Can I tell? 52 minutes ago. Okay, so we'll go a little bit longer, and I just wanted to kind of give people an idea. I would like to get these walls raised, but that's going to take a little time, but I might be able to do it. Let's go in here and see what this is. 6 foot 11 and a half from there to there, from there to there. This hallway, oh, I see what I'm missing. I'm missing this hallway. So that would give me 6'9". Now, see, that only gives you, like, if you allow the minimum for the toilet, which is 30, that only gives you, well, 4'3". So you could do it. You could do it. You could do a 4-foot vanity and a toilet there, but it's not tight, so that'll work. So this wall comes down to here. And you see Facebook creating those faces again. And that's why I usually leave them, because it's like a never-ending battle trying to keep them deleted. So I'll just leave them alone for now. And then 6 foot 11 and a half. Where's my, oops. What does that give me? Well, I know I've got to have at least 25 inches here for the vanity, and I need a 32-inch door. You really don't need a 32-inch door on the powder room. A 30-inch door, 2/6 is fine, but I still don't have enough room. And you can see here, this is one thing you need to do if you're building a house and you've got an architect designing it for you, is you need to check all your dimensions just to make sure things are going to work. I mean, first of all, a 32-inch door is typical. That's a 2/8 door. Is typical in a bedroom. Okay, for powder rooms or bathrooms, we would typically go to a 2/6 door, which is a 30-inch door. What have we got here? So, in other words, if you allowed, let's just build this, if you allowed this 25 inches there, okay, then you wanted at least 4 inches for your trim. Now, I gotta have, let me delete this other one. My rough opening for a 30-inch door is gonna be 32 inches, 32, and I want at least another, let's see, 4.5 inches here. I want at least 3 2x4s. You see, that powder room has to be 5'1" at a minimum, just to get the door and the vanity in there. But all this stuff comes from years and years of framing and knowing, rough openings for doors and what minimum. I mean, this toilet's going to stick out about 27 inches from the wall. Just knowing that kind of stuff. Having all these dimensions, standard dimensions built into your head is what will save you. And that's another reason why I built it in my head. And it looks like that wall stops right there. Where does it stop? Oh, I see. This goes over here, and this stops. What did I make that? 4.5 inches? Yeah. So I can, and that gives me the only other thing I can tell you about architects, and again, they're nice people, they do their best, but it's like they think little Oriental people live, and I'm not being racist, but I mean, they think that little people live in all houses. It's like this exercise room right here. It's only like 9 feet that way, but it's, what have I got here? What have I got left over? This is basically the exercise room. Okay, so 11 feet sounds like a big dimension, but the problem is it's only 6'5" in width. So by the time you can't, if you were to set I don't know, any kind of piece of machinery in here that was 4 feet long, you would have a couple of feet to walk around it, and maybe that's all they need. But it just seems wimpy to me. What I would have done was I would have put the exercise room up in this wasted attic space right here that just says attic. There's even a door going into it. I would have put the exercise room up here, and I would have just what would I have done down here? I would have combined this. I would have combined these spaces somehow. I would have certainly made the den a little bigger. I would have made the office a little bigger. I'm not sure what kind of office this is. Okay, there's no real desk in here. So if this office, let's say it had a desk in the middle of it, you wouldn't be able to walk around it. So these spaces are kind of small. And I'm not being critical if for some reason my homeowner sees this. I'm just saying these are things to think about. You need to go and decide how you're going to use this room, and actually go to the house you're living in now and look at rooms that are similar in size and lay out furniture and actually live in that space and see if it's what you want. Because honestly, if this was my house, this whole thing would be my office. I would take out this wall, this whole thing, because I don't need a den. The reason I don't need a den is because I got this big old porch, which I would make like a sunroom. It would be to where I could use it in the winter. This porch is going to be as expensive. These columns and all these handrails, you could make this a sunroom where these were glass panels that could be taken out. And in the winter, you could use this as your sitting room or whatever. You've got this big old living room. You got that big old place to sit. And this is just kind of some kind of weird den that's just stuck in the corner over here. It's only, 8 feet wide? How wide is that? Maybe it's bigger than it looks. So anyway, again, I'm not being critical, and we'll build it however the owner wants. But these are the things we do. This is the kind of stuff we do. We critique the plan. We critique the dimensions. We rebuild it ourselves in our own modeling software, which in this case is SketchUp. And we just we ask questions. And then once the project starts, we don't have a lot of rigmarole. I want to delete that. I can't delete that. The problem with SketchUp is that, like, if I don't have a reference point, it's hard to scroll. So I'll put these fake backgrounds in here to give me something to scroll against. I don't know if that makes any sense. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to pull these walls up. If I can. Oh, I got an open wall somewhere. What happened? Here we go. Here's the problem right here. I need to go in here and cut this out. Now, does that fix it? Well, duty. What happened? Let me just. Sometimes if you draw a line. What did I do? It had to be something in here. Put this on top view again. Something's not closing. Let me just close. Let me start closing them and I'll find out what is not closed. It has to be something in this vicinity. Okay, that one closed. Well, this is nuts. I got a glitch somewhere. Why are these not closing? What's the last thing I did? Okay, so this has been going long enough. Too much information. So I'm going to move this over here just to give you another quick look at this is what we're shooting for. This, except my drawing will only have walls and dimensions. Well, it'll have doors and windows, but it'll only have the hard information I need. Because I don't need all this minutia in here. You know, I don't need all these detail marks and all these notes and all that. So, because when I go out to start framing, I just want to know what my walls are, and that's what this. So my drawing will basically, it'll have doors and windows and dimensions, and that's all we need to get started. So anyway, guys, let me go back to YouTube right quick and see. Let's see. Do I have any questions? Oh, hey, Cam. Your work shirking. Is ArtisanTony secretly Santa Claus? I don't know. Probably not. Have you got an adult question? Shirking your duties. I know you better than that, Cam. I know you're not shirking. But I think unless somebody has some questions, I'm going to cut it off here because I need to go back over to the site and check on some people. Is this working? Yeah. And check on some stuff. But I thought it would be fun just to turn on the camera and show people. Oh, thoughts on the Yankee Marshall. What kind of thoughts? Um, he, I, I, drama. Let's see, what's the first word that comes to my mind? I like Yankee. I mean, he's for a liberal, he's a pretty cool guy. Um, what can you say? I think he, I think, I think he knows. Have a good day, Tony. Thanks for streaming. Oh, yeah, you too. Um, like I said, I mean, in one of his last videos, he gave. I feel like he was giving me crap, but about the whole Rock River Arms, Springfield Armory thing. But you have to remember, I made my videos like on the second day, the next day. There was no information out about their dealings with lobbyists or political contributions. My whole thing in that was that the companies have a right to fight bad legislation. That's all. I'm not even a big Springfield Armory or Rock River Arms. Like I said, I'm a Glock fan as far as pistols go. I think the M1A is a neat rifle, but it's kind of expensive. I can buy 2 AKs for the price of an M1A. So, I'm an AK guy too. I'm a Russian AK guy, and I'm a Glock pistol guy. So I have no dog in the hunt. The only dog I have in the hunt is allowing people to exercise their First Amendments and their Second Amendment. It's funny, people, especially in the gun community, tend to forget about the First Amendment. Yeah, don't worry, Yankee still loves me. I don't think so. I was trying to think of who else he could have been talking about in his video, where he was talking about shields, and he brought up the whole Rock River Arms, Springfield Armory thing. So I had to wonder who the heck he was talking about, and I had to assume that he was talking about me. I mean, I don't know if anybody has any information on, any other YouTuber who didn't jump on the bandwagon and made videos about it. See, it's easy now to go back and say, oh, well, I supported. Well, yeah, it is easy, but you have to do it publicly. If you want to say if you're going to jump out and have an opinion on something, do it publicly. Jump out, do a video, make a quick video, put it out there. Don't say, come back later and say, well, I supported this or I supported that. No, how do we know? So as long as as long as there's nobody else with videos who were, when the thing first happened now, I have to assume that he's kind of taking a stab at me, which I think is tacky and unnecessary, because his channel is 2 or 3 times larger than mine, and he has a fan base that could troll the crap out of me if he wanted to. It's not right for a large channel like that to attack a smaller channel over just my opinion. I don't know for sure that's what he was doing, but it seemed awful obvious to me. But he's a nice guy, but he supported Springfield and got a lot of heat for it. Who? Oh, you're saying Yankees supported Springfield? I didn't know that. Maybe he was talking about himself. Well, you see, I support Springfield Armory and Rock River Arms. I support their ability to fight gun legislation, just like I support your ability to do that. Now, they're in a state that has a lot of liberals in it, and maybe they have to pay to play. Maybe, and this is the jungle. This is the reality that our political system has kind of come to, where so maybe they had to make political contributions to Democrats to get by. I don't know. It's nobody. My point is, nobody knows the total story, the total all of the evidence. If we could have a mock trial, that's what we should do. We should have a mock trial, and Springfield Armory and Rock River Arms should be a part of it. They should play it out. They don't have anything to lose at this point. They probably should do that. And they should present all the evidence. And really, when I was making my phone calls, that's all I was trying to do. Oh, look at your other. I think he was talking about Missouri. Oh. Oh, Missouri Guns and Gear. Well, I don't know that he got more heat than I did, but maybe he did. Good for him. I kind of applaud anybody who's willing to look at both sides of any issue. Now that sounds like a fence straddler, but I will decide. I will come down on one side or the other. It's not like I'm going to sit on the fence. What I want to know is, why was it that they had to make? Why is it that their state is such a coarse environment for gun companies that they have to do the things that they did? Why? That's the question. We shouldn't be. The question is not. There's really, honestly, there's no reason to avoid. My other point is that no one is harmed. The thing of, and nobody could really answer this question, how is anybody harmed? How am I harmed by what they did? I'm not. I live in Tennessee, and I know you're going to say, well, it matters. Well, I can't help everybody, in every state. I don't have the power to do that. So I have to concentrate on Tennessee. And if these things were happening in Tennessee, it probably would be different if I was honest. But the point is I'm trying to make is that people keep saying they sold out. What did they sell? Somebody tell me what they sell. Okay, you said, well, they sold out smaller gun dealers. Well, nobody also never explained to me why a manufacturer, and I'm getting way off my subject here. My subject is design build, but you all brought it up in the comments. Why would a manufacturer, why does a manufacturer have to have, why would you want a manufacturer to have a gun license, a gun dealer license? Yankee 4, my man, why would we expect Springfield Armory and Rock River Arms to accept the fact that Illinois wanted them to have a gun dealer license when they're not gun dealers? They have a manufacturing license, but there's no reason for the state of Illinois to enforce a gun dealer license. They don't sell to the public. As far as I know, they have wholesale distributors. The guns go out to those, and from there they go to the dealers, the retailers. Those are the people. If you're going to have a gun dealer licensing law, which you shouldn't, but if you just have to have one, if you're a libtard state and you have to have one, those are the people you should go after. Not everybody, because it's a tax to begin with, but it becomes an obvious tax when you try to enforce a gun dealer licensing law on manufacturers. They're not dealers. So, this is, what am I using here? I'm using logic. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I used a little bit of logic and got in trouble for it. I also wanted to know directly from them what they would say. And for me, calling them, even just calling them, people called me a shield just because I simply dialed a phone number and asked a question. All of a sudden, I'm a shield for them, And also, if I had called them up and said, hey bitches, what's up with this? You think they would have even given me the time of day? The one lady was at Rock River Arms. She actually said that she would be willing to give me a statement when I first called up. She said she would be willing to give me a statement through email or something. And I said, okay. And I said something like, well, you can't even give me a blurb. And just by being nice to her and not so offensive, that so many people are. They don't know how to have an adult conversation with people. Then through that experience, she started to open up and start to answer questions. Okay, but again, because of that, I'm seen as somebody playing, somehow having some sort of favoritism towards them. And no, yeah, I do show favoritism towards capitalism, business, freedom, the First Amendment, all those things that every gun owner should show themselves. So anyway, I can't believe I let y'all get me off on that, because I was really into this design build project. But it is a live thing, and I want to answer comments. And I don't know if anybody just joined, but if you did, what I'm doing is I'm taking this drawing. How do I feel about Donald Trump? I remember, I don't know if you know, one of the little funny things about that is I bet Yankee $10 that he would win, because one of the reasons that I supported Donald Trump was because I knew he would fight Hillary Clinton. My original guy was Ted Cruz, but when I realized that Ted Cruz was too much of a gentleman to win, I started realizing that Donald Trump had the ability to actually fight Hillary Clinton the way she would have to be fought. Because here's the thing, guys, liberals don't fight fair, in politics. They will do anything to get elected. And so you have to have somebody that's really going to get in there and fight. And I knew, what in the world is going on? What am I looking at? Is this still live? There's what am I looking at? Am I streaming? If you look at wow, I'm looking at the YouTube side and I'm seeing stuff that I did 5 minutes ago. Oh, that's freaky. But like right now, if I look at the screen, I'm just now doing the part where I was talking about the stairwell. That's weird. Yeah, Yankee, I know. Yankee's saying I gotta stop letting the keyboard warriors get to me. Yeah, I know. But I kind of tend to take, for me, words mean things, and I take, and just like you, Yankee, I mean, if you tell me something, I believe you. And so I put a lot of weight in what people say. So yeah, I give people the benefit of the doubt, just like I gave Springfield Armory and Rock River Arms the benefit of the doubt, because yeah, I'm going to come down on their side. Initially my knee-jerk reaction is going to be to come down on their side before I come down on some stupid politician who I know is just wanting to enact crazy legislation. So yeah, that to me seemed like a logical thing, but I found out really fast it wasn't. So, but honestly, I don't care about, thankfully this stuff you're looking at on the screen is how I make my living, and it's what I enjoy doing. And there's minimal, honestly, people like you, Yankee and Cam. I see people like you and Doverfield and other people like you, the common people. I don't mean to say you're common. Real people, nice people, the people who are earnest, people who mean what they say and they do what they say they're going to do. Amen, and I get that, Tony, but at the same time, I care about you, seeing you upset. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not really, honestly, I'm not that. Sometimes I may seem, maybe I'm upset when I get on my soapbox, but it's just, I've been interested in politics since I was a teenager. Ronald Reagan was the first president. I turned 18 in October, and then was it the next November? Yeah, I voted for Ronald Reagan. So you can see how excited I was to vote in the first election that I voted for in. And so I'm a little passionate about politics, yeah, but and maybe that makes it seem like I am getting upset, but really it's almost like damn, you're I know. Well, I'll be 55, and I don't feel old. I'll be 55 in October. So I know, and that's why I'm trying to lose weight, because I'm getting too old to be fat. But let's see, the internet lets you know. If you don't know you're fat, the internet will let you know it. If you have any doubt at all, just ask the internet, and they will let you know if you're fat or not. I've learned that one too. Anyway, I appreciate you guys jumping on. I know, Yankee said, and the reason I'm repeating your comments is that I've noticed that sometimes they don't show up in the video later, like if I'm working here. So I know they're on the screen, but some people may not see them. So, like Yankee said, he's just peeking. I know. And I can hear you saying this. I have a really good imagination. I can hear you. I can hear Cam talking and you talking. And you know, I can just kind of hear you guys talking as I'm going along here. And that's the kind of community I wanted to be involved with. You know, all the drama that gets kicked around. You know, really, honestly, nobody should take any heat for any opinion. You know, I should have this Mr. I need to go back and look and see what he did, and maybe I don't know if he took his video down, but you said it was, who was it, Missouri Guns and Gear? I'd love to go watch his videos. I mean, he should be able to express his opinion without getting any crap for it, you know. Well, thanks, Cam. Thanks for coming by. Cam says he's got to go. I appreciate you chatting there. It's really good to hear from you and Yankee. I mean, honestly, sometimes, I mean, I've got friends, and you know who they are, that just walked away from YouTube for different reasons, but I've talked to them, and they're just like, you know, it's just not. It's not worth all the all the crap, you know, you basically have to go through with YouTube being the way they are, and with as many people trolling, and even people who you don't think, or even people you don't expect to be trolling you, will troll you for just a simple thing as the way, you know, your opinion on something. So you have to have thick skin, obviously, but I'm gonna end this now because I got to get back over to the job. But I'm gonna probably start turning on the computer when I'm working on these projects, because it helps me. They get a little tedious going through all the details of these projects. It gets a little tedious, and when you feel like you're sharing it with somebody on the other end, I'm sitting in my big old office here, nobody here. It almost feels like I've got a team working with me in the background. So, but I want to thank you guys for coming and chatting, and I'll end it here. Thanks a lot, guys.